Ragazzi, welcome back to my channel. So, as you might have seen, I've been recently to this Swiss championship about the heaviest pumpkin ever, or something like that. And of course I bought so many pumpkins that I need and I want to use them. So, since I came across with this old book about the traditional cuisine of my city, Reggio Emilia, I decided to share with you a typical Italian recipe, even though I'm sure that each of you has its own version and knows this recipe. I wanted to share with you my version. It's gnocchi di patate alla zucca, so potato gnocchi with pumpkin. I will explain all the steps along the video, but if you need the ingredients amounts, you can find them in the description box down below. So let's get started. Of course, first of all, we need to cut our pumpkin. In this case, I'm using a kabocha pumpkin. Kabocha is the Japanese name actually to say pumpkin. It's the kind of flat round one you can find in green, grey or red color. I'm not here to tell you that cutting a pumpkin is something easy. It's not. I had kind of to fight against it, but at the end, here we are. Opened, remove the seeds, and then wrap the pieces of pumpkin in an aluminum foil. Place them over a baking tin and bake at 200 degrees for 40-45 minutes or until the pulp of the pumpkin is soft. Meanwhile, let's prepare the potatoes. Of course, let's peel them, but I'm not going to show it because everybody knows it, and then boil them. On a large wooden board, prepare the typical volcano flour. In the middle, mash the pumpkin pulp and the potatoes as well. It's important that pumpkin and potatoes are still warm when you work with them together with the flour. I left a little bit of flour apart, just in case I need later. Because every time pumpkin and potatoes have different quantity of humidity of water. So I just started with a certain amount of flour and then if I need more I will add later on. Pumpkin pairs perfectly with nutmeg and that's why I'm gonna add a little bit of nutmeg also for gnocchi. So I start to knead, and yes, in this case I'm gonna use more flour. But be careful, don't use too much, even though the dough appears too soft in your opinion or kind of sticky. Remember that potatoes gnocchi, pumpkin gnocchi are nice when they are homemade because they're soft and not too chewy, as like when you buy at the supermarket, for example. Okay, our dough is ready. Set it apart. Flour again the wooden board, and let's start finally to make gnocchi. It's important to flour really well the piece of dough that we are gonna use, and simply with your hands create a long snake. Cut out some small pieces. Now roll each piece of gnocchi on the surface of a fork or a cheese grater. I always use a fork and the technique is quite simple. Use your big thumb and with confidence press gently the gnocchi on the fork. Repeat the process for the whole dough or just for a part. What can you do with the rest of the dough? Either you make gnocchi and you can freeze them, placing them on a flat surface, then in the refrigerator, and once they are frozen you can place them in a bag. Or you can also freeze the whole dough, and when you decide to make gnocchi for many people, you simply defrost the whole piece and you start again to make gnocchi from scratch. And what if we want to eat now gnocchi? Place carefully the gnocchi on a kitchen cloth previously floured. When you're satisfied with the quantity of gnocchi to cook, then let's move to the stove. In a pan, I'm getting ready with some butter and sage leaves. In a medium-sized pot, I'm bringing to boil some water. When it's boiling, add some sea salt, and then it's time for gnocchi. Move gently just at the beginning all the gnocchi to avoid that eventually they might stick at the bottom of the pot. And you know that when gnocchi will come up at the surface of the water, they're ready. So with the colander spoon, simply take the gnocchi came up to the surface and place them directly in the pan with the butter and sage. Add a little bit of grated Parmigiano Reggiano so we can combine all together the ingredients and we are getting a nice creamy texture. And here we are, our pumpkin gnocchi are ready to be served. Homemade gnocchi are so soft and delicate that they make you understand why it's so worth it to make them by yourself instead of buying at a supermarket, don't you think? I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Let me know if you're gonna try, and if you wanna support me, simply subscribe to my channel. Buon appetito!